Welcome back to another episode of I Sober, recovery podcast where we share our experience, strength, and hope. Today we have Bryan sharing his testimony. This is someone who became very close to me in our recovery program. Remember, we do have a resource website that you can go to isober.com/resources where you can navigate through a bunch of Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and different resources. So make sure to check that out and welcome in.
Hi.
Go ahead and start sharing. Paint us the picture of addiction for you.
My name is Bryan Fenton. Growing up, I had a pretty rocky childhood. I was living with my mom and dad and grandma from the age of born till about six or 7 years old.
Always in Oklahoma?
Always in Oklahoma.
All right.
My mom and dad were drug addicts, and my older sister and my brother-in-law pretty much pulled me away from them and took me into a better life, gave me a better life. I lived pretty good with them.
What age would you say that happened?
That was about 7 or 8 years old till, I grew up with them, split from my other siblings. I have 7 sisters. I have 4 older sisters and 3 younger, and a little brother. But it was just
quite the family.
Yeah, it was just me and my other sister Lily that went with my brother-in-law and my older sister, and my other siblings were with my grandma. And growing up was pretty good. Like, he took really good care of me, and I looked up to him. And me not knowing what their marriage was like, I felt like he. It's hard to talk about.
That's okay.
He kind of, I think he found a way to take me back to my parents, because they were having a rocky relationship. So he found I did something wrong, or I got suspended from school. He's, I'm going to take you back to your dad's. And that's what happened. And I was 14 years old.
So now you're back
into a bad situation.
You're 7 when you went with them.
Yep.
Do you remember on those early ages, like drug use? Did you know what drugs were?
No.
Or did you just think
they always
silly? Like, do you remember?
My sister would say they were on crack, or they were on this.
But you didn't know what that meant.
I didn't know. I was blind.
Right.
Blind to everything. I just knew they were on drugs.
Okay, so now you're back at 14, and now
dropped off at my dad's with at a house that doesn't have electric, no running water, and they're letting me smoke cigarettes and smoke weed. My mom didn't care if I smoked weed, so I'm doing all this and thinking it was cool when it really wasn't.
Right, no, not at all.
It really wasn't. But that's when my drug use had started. Getting into marijuana, alcohol, and I had to grow up really quick because I had to get a job. I had a job at 16 because of my older sister, and I had to get away from my parent. My dad, he was he was strung out on, I think it was cocaine or crack or something. So he was constantly borrowing money from me until one day, he actually ended up checking himself into First Step.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know your dad went through that program.
He didn't go all the way through, but he came for a couple of weeks because me and him had got into it because he was trying to borrow money that I didn't have, and he realized he had a problem.
And what was your age around this time?
I was 16 or.
And you heard your dad is going to First Step. But
I moved in with my older sister.
But did you know what recovery was at
that
point? Or you just knew he was going away?
I just knew he was going to a rehabilitation. Okay. And I thought that was where just, grown-ups go, whatever.
They need help.
Right. I had no clue what recovery was like. Okay. And
all right. So then you move in with?
I moved in with my older sister, which I met my ex-wife, and we got together and we ended up getting our own apartment, not willingly. Like, my sister had kicked us both out. So I had to drop out of high school to work full time to go afford this apartment. So, and me and her both drank, smoked weed. So, we're just going to work, drinking, smoking weed, popping ecstasy. Everyone, it's just crazy to think about that I was living like that for so long.
And did you at this point know, like, in some meetings I hear people say, and I took the first drink and my skin felt like I could fit in my skin, and did you ever have that feeling whenever you were doing drug use or maybe alcohol, weed?
Yeah, just
did you?
Yeah,
you felt whole.
I felt okay. From the age that I started using till I stopped, like I always had some kind of drug or some kind of alcohol, something in my body to make me feel different. And I didn't know what it was like to live sober. Like I didn't know,
there was always something there.
There was always something.
I was constantly on weed, so
there was something mind altering in my body at all times that made me feel different, because I just didn't want to be in my own skin. It felt like it was rough. And I had lived with my wife we lived together for about 7 years. I had got a job at Bar S, was doing really good. But what really took off was the pain pills. My pain pill addiction, me and her were both on it. And whenever I couldn't find any, I started dabbing in the methamphetamine without telling her.
And how old were you at this point?
Right here, I'm about 22 or 3. And then during that, I started going over, and who I was going to was, of course, my dad, because, he didn't care what we did. Oh, you got some meth? I want to hit it because I can't get no pills. And he'd give me the pipe, and I'd get high, and it kind of, my brother, he was already doing years in prison. Like he's already been in prison. But I started struggling with meth, and that's when I quit. I quit my job. Like I quit my job. Then my mom passed away, and that's when everything just.
The pressure.
I left my wife, left my family, just went off and did whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And long story short, I end up in and out of jail, till finally I catch a felony, which that was about, I think I was 29 years. It took a while for me to catch the felony.
Right.
But once I caught that felony, I was like, okay, this
isn't the lifestyle.
This isn't the lifestyle I want to live. I don't want to be in prison.
Yeah.
And I asked the attorney, can I get rehab? Or I had no idea what recovery was like. I didn't know
what you were getting yourself.
I didn't know
what you were getting yourself into.
Had no idea what I just knew I needed help, and that's what I did, and that's what I got out of rehab, and they took me up, got out of jail, and they took me up to First Step. So
really, and how did you hear of Men's First Step?
Someone in the county jail was talking about it.
Okay.
And he
what were they telling you?
He's like, oh, it's a good place, they'll have you working, weed eating for hours and hours and hours. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, cool, a job, yeah.
No, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Maybe they can give me a job, or you know what I mean. I had no idea what it was going to turn out to.
Right.
But it was.
But you were going somewhere.
I know I was going somewhere to get better, and I'm very grateful for.
Thankful.
And getting that taste of recovery. I wanted to. Once I started the program, like I was already had it in my mind made up. Like I don't want to live that old life anymore, and it was good. Like I completed the program, and life was good. I had a job. I was doing really great. I had sponsor. I was going to meetings, doing all the things, and I had people that loved me, but there was just some bad mistakes and decisions that I had made that I could have changed that had led me back to relapse.
Right.
And
how long after the program did you stay sober?
I did, I think it was about 8 months,
8 months
before I
sober.
had
So
went back.
you had a good year and a half almost, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really
And
good for a first time recovery. I mean,
yeah,
that's awesome.
but I did that, but whenever I went through my relapse, like it's probably
heavier.
it's just the
Yeah.
worst feeling. Like it's bad. And
I just want to bring attention to that for a second, because there's nothing worse than someone getting sober and then relapsing, because they are like, I've been clean for so long that, I'm going to go back to the same drug use, but it has so many more tolls on your and effect
It
on your
does.
mental, on how you do things. I mean,
How you see things,
how you see things, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's really scary, man.
But the second stint in rehab is where I actually put my foot down and was like, I got to grow closer to God. I got to keep God in my heart, because I knew that was the number one thing that that they're that I like AA and all. They say, oh, you stop talking to your sponsor, you stop doing these things, stop going to AA, you're going to relapse. No, it's when you lose that conscious contact with God, and you lose that connection with God. That's when things start getting.
The enemy starts talking.
That's when things start getting really rocky, and getting into church, and being around people of God. Like my job, they're very, very, like, we have Bible studies every morning. Pretty much, they do a lot of charities and
service
work, and it's a good company that I work for, and I'm thankful that I'm in that environment.
It keeps you plugged in.
Yes, very plugged in.
Let's go back to your childhood and God. What was it like? Did your family introduce you into God?
My aunt and uncle, they took us to church all the time, but our family was very dysfunctional. I have a bunch of cousins, and my little brother, sister. Every time we went to church, we were trying to find a way to sneak out and to go sit in the van.
You're being made to go to church.
Right.
You're not.
We weren't there for the right reason. Like they had good intentions bringing us there. They were hoping, we would catch something, and no, it wasn't. It was we're trying to figure out how to sneak off and go do whatever, not church.
Childhood things. Childhood things. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So then, when would you say you actually found your connection with God, and you said, I'm surrendering, my life is in your hands?
My sober date.
Yeah. And with Life Church, is that
Life Church is a main Life Church. Michael Massey.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Yes, he is.
Shout out Michael Massey.
For sure. Every person that has gone through this program has.
Yeah, Michael Massey. He's a godsend for sure. And I mean, just the people in this program, you guys care. I appreciate everything y'all have done and do, and
it is a great program, man. So tell me, whenever you went through your second term of recovery, what did you miss? What is something that perhaps you weren't ready for the first time?
Dealing with feelings. Like I still struggle with it, but I know, just from being in all the AA meetings and everything, that I know what I need to do. I need to stay in connection with God. I need to fellowship and get out of self and get uncomfortable. I know the things to do. And just recently, after having this past couple weeks or past 3 weeks, I've had a sickness and just been down, and I knew something was off. So I had to, I had to get in connection. Knew exactly what to do, and Michael Massey and Devin, they really looked out for me.
No, it's all about the connection, man. It isn't just about going to church. It's about getting in the fellowship. It's about
Yes.
staying connected to everyone because God does work through people.
Yes,
And
he does.
God works highly through Devin and Michael Messi. Let me tell you that. Those are the main people. Anytime I have any mental instability,
Yes,
it's usually the devil.
You're good to talk to.
I
too.
just like saying the devil. I mean the enemy.
The enemy, the enemy.
Or Leanne. Leanne is always a great person that I love talking to as well. Lori, Pastor Lori as well. The More Church does amazing with helping people.
Yeah,
and it's definitely been a foundation for me, and I know for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, as a final message, what would you say to someone who is perhaps struggling with their feelings, or anything that you might maybe tell someone who's in recovery right now that maybe isn't ready, or just having the second thoughts? Just
if you're not in recovery, don't wait. Don't wait for something extravagant to happen. Don't wait, to go to prison, or don't nip it in the bud right now and just take care of it. Go to rehab and get connection with people and God, and start your life journey now. Don't wait. Don't. That's the worst thing I did. I waited around, and waited until I was,
in the corner.
Yeah, hit rock bottom. It's best to just take care of it and get connection with good God-fearing people.
So when picking a sponsor, give advice to someone picking a sponsor today.
Pick someone that you can feel comfortable talking to and open up to.
Yeah.
Just listen, and can relate to.
Oh yeah, I definitely like to take time on seeing sponsors, and they have a main goal and they're easy to talk to. You're probably going to have a good relationship with them, honestly. Yeah. No, that's good, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this today.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
I feel
not that scary. It's in recording, I promise.